All right, we got a 2013 Kia Sorento EX 3.5 liter V6 automatic transmission. We're going to be removing and replacing the transmission temperature sensor. We have a check engine light that keeps coming on. I forget the code off the top of my head, but it's for the transmission temperature sensor. We actually have a diagnostic video on how to check and diagnose that. And yeah, it was completely out to lunch. I think it was reading like negative 80 degrees. So we have another transmission. This is not the one that's in the vehicle, but this is our donor transmission that we're going to attempt to steal the part from. This one's actually out of a 2015 Kia Sorento that has the 3.3 liter V6, which is the next generation. So I'm just going to drain this. What we have to do is get the fluid out, obviously, and then this front pan right here, this plastic pan, has your valve body in behind it, and we got to pull that. So this is going to come off, and then we've got, if you look on the screen there, in behind the valve body is our temperature sensor. So, all right, I'm going to buzz all these off. We got 10 mil bracket here. That's going to give us access to all these other 10 mils. We're just going to go around, start taking all those out, and then this cover comes off. We do also have a hose right here. It's just a vent. So we just take some pliers and move this thing. Take our vent hose off. All right, we're about to take this off. Another thing you might want to do is just blow any of the dirt off of here before we peel this off, because we don't want anything getting inside of the transmission. We want to keep it as clean as we can. Okay, and it looks like there's our sensor right there. So this one, in fact, does look like the same. So like I say, these two transmissions between the 2013 and the 2015, they're very similar. The transmission code, I forget exactly what it is. I say it in the other video. It's like a A6SL or something like that. I forget. But they're almost identical. The gear ratio is slightly different in one gear. That's the only difference. So the final drive is slightly different. So looks like we've got a sort of a, we got two little tangs here. I'll grab a light to show you. So on that side, you can see this little tang. We have to grab a screwdriver and just try to pry that back, or a pick. And then this should, in theory, just pop off. We got a little ribbon cable. I feel like it's gonna break. I might need something smaller to get in behind that. At least I got more room on this side now, though. This makes me want to break this off. Yeah, I need a different tool. I need something like a knife. Yeah, this connector is absolutely ridiculous. I can't wait to do this in the car. Is this like soldered on there then? Or what? All right, so it turns out that the sensor itself, they've redesigned it so that they're not interchangeable between the new transmission and the old transmission. The old style is just a connector that you unplug. The new style, if you have a 2015, they've actually soldered this band, this ribbon connector on here. And so yeah, it's hardwired into the harness in the valve body, so that's sweet. I'm guessing they had issues with the older ones, and then this is their revision for that. So, yep, we're gonna go order one from good old AliExpress, and we'll show you putting that in. All right, so your temperature sensor reading should be at 0 degrees, it was Celsius, right? 0 degrees Celsius, you're about 5.8 ohms. 20 degrees Celsius, you're about 2 point something. So right now in the shop, we're like 15 degrees in here. 3.57. That's 1,000 ohms as well. 3.5K ohms. So we're in spec for that sensor. It's rust free, sir, I promise. All right, we got a bunch of 12 millimeter bolts that we need to take out. And we've also got all these plastic clips located at the top here, there, and there. And then once we get those out, this thing should fall down. That one's MIA. So these clips drive me absolutely nuts because once you take them in and out a bunch of times, they just strip and they get all full of dirt. So I just cut them off and replace them. Gotta catch it all. So that drain bolt, the frame is like right in the way. So I just use this slim 24 millimeter socket. There's a set made by Lyle, I think it is. That's oil filter wrench sockets. That's the one you want. All right, now we get the fun task of removing all the bolts. And you can see there's bolts around the side where the subframe is that are not very easily accessible. So here we go. There, you can take a look into it this way. So the one that's just beside it, I'm gonna have to use a wrench for. But of course, there's probably like a bunch of moisture that sits up on the frame. So those two corner ones that are hard to get to are the most rusty. Alrighty. Okay, we got all the bolts out now. That only took like 30 minutes. And so the issue we have is coolant hoses in the way. So sorry it's kind of dark in there, you can't really see too well. But our sensor's inside of here. So I was just gonna see, yeah, I can like kind of wedge the pan out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can jiggle this thing around enough to get it out of the road. There's a couple other videos on YouTube and they sort of just leave the pan like that and go in with their hands. But I wanna see if I can do any better. Okay, so here's what's happening. We're trying to move the pan up, but these lines are in our way. So the pan runs into these lines. So we got two 24 millimeter banjo bolts that we're gonna remove. We've also got a 10 millimeter bolt on the top. This is gonna be the most difficult, I would say, to get out. The body is about here and it comes up. So this one shouldn't be too bad. This one might be a little dicey. They're attached to each other. So you have to take both of the bolts out and then take this off. And hopefully the bolts don't run into the body, but we're gonna go find out. All right, we're taking these bolts out. We got two 10 millimeter bolts that are gonna hold this inner plastic shield on. Then once we get that off, we're gonna have access to those two 24mm banjo bolts I was talking about. So we got one 10mm bolt up there, and there's another one that's buried back underneath of there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but anyhow.
There's a third bolt?
Sorry, yeah, you can like only see it where I'm standing. I don't know if you got it there. Let's go. I think they're 24s. Let me just double check that. Oh no, they're not. Maybe they're 22.
What size is it?
22mm banjo bolts. I'm gonna try to take them all the way out, and then I'll take the 10mm bolt out of the top. That's just like a security bolt. So these banjo bolts have gaskets on them. They're little copper washers, and you're supposed to replace them every time you take these bolts out and put new ones in, or put the bolts back in, because the copper crushes, right? It squishes when you torque these down. So you're supposed to replace them. I'm not gonna replace them. This is my vehicle, by the way, but I'm not gonna replace them. They probably won't leak, but obviously once I'm done, I'm gonna clean everything off, run it, check it, make sure it's not leaking. But if you're doing this on your car or somebody else's car, you might want to replace them. However, I might be able to back it right now with my hands. Surprisingly, it's coming. So that bolt that goes in the top, you need quite the angle. My snap-on ratcheting wrench and regular wrench didn't have enough of an angle on it to be able to get up in there to clear the body. So I needed a flex head. So once I do that, then I can get up in there and take this bolt out. However, putting the bolt back in might be a different story. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back in there, but I really don't want to take the battery tray out because it's just such a bunch of extra work. Okay, so by moving those transmission lines, those cooler lines, I was able to jam the pan back further by like 2 inches, which buys us a lot more room. Can't get the pan completely out of the way, which sucks because it's just buried in there. You'd have to take the battery out and the tray out, and you probably have to drain the coolant and pull the coolant hose off. There's a bunch of other stuff, so that's fine. I can deal with that from here. But you can see that the connector, the wiring harness is like that ribbon style wiring harness, just like on the other one, except the connector is different. And it's actually like a removable connector that probably has 2 prongs that, that slip over the terminal that's on the sensor. So a little bit different than the other one. Sucks that it's different because you just can't change them out. Of course, now you gotta buy a different part. Oh well. Anyhow, and unplug this and yeah, get this thing changed out. Sits up there. I feel like that's like it just clips inside of here and there's no way to undo it. Unless that is it. There's that bump right there. I just literally stuck my pick in this bottom hole and just like pried it out and it popped out. It gives you no information in the service manual. It just says disconnect the connector. Then there's a warning underneath that says be careful not to break or damage the connector. So that's how I did it, through this hole on this side of the vehicle. And now we're going to take this sensor out and I'm going to measure the resistance to see how bad it is. All right.
6-inch bolt. And take this thing out. Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, so it literally, the sensor portion itself, I bet you, is identical to the other one. The only difference is they've redesigned the housing and the connector portion is different. So on this one, it's unpluggable. The other one cannot take it off. It's soldered on there. You could take it off. You could take a soldering iron and melt the solder and pull the ribbon off. But let's go measure the resistance. Okay, so pretty much at this point, once you get the sensor back in there and plug it back in, try to clean it. If you got like a bunch of dirt and corrosion and stuff around there, try to like wipe that off, clean it the best you can, and put the cover back on, start all your bolts. And then, like I say, for the lines on the side, probably want to get new gaskets, new copper washers, but probably reuse them. I don't know. I've seen a lot of times like I've reused some stuff and I've never really had any issues, but like I say, recommended to replace them. It says so on the service manual. And then yeah, just snug everything down and fill her up full of fluid. Yeah, put the drain plug in, obviously. And there's also a gasket for it as well, a washer. But we have a link in the description on how to fill this thing because it's a little extensive. So I think that will cover all the bases. And sorry we're cutting it short and sweet. It's pretty late. Got any questions, throw them in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if this has helped. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. See ya.